let's see where this storyline takes us tonight, shall we? Let's see. Ooh, we got a tough one. We start out with someone's feeling heartbroken. Somebody is, they're crying a river of tears right now. They are interesting, and someone else has absolute sunlight in their life. Someone is crying because they see somebody living their best life, and it ain't with them. That's what I would say initially. We got a King of Cups in the reverse. We got a Five of Swords in the upright. It's interesting because someone is actually holding back their emotions, but in this particular, the Five of Swords here, this is a story where a feminine actually is the one who played some kind of game. See how she's hiding behind the rose? And behind her, the man is turned to ashes and has his heart kind of just stitches where it used to be. So the feminine in this storyline for this deck is actually the one who hurt the masculine's feelings. And we begin with a masculine who is weeping, one who feels like it's, shot through the heart, with those arrows, the arrows of love. And they see her doing really well. And in both cases, you notice how she's actually hiding her face. Part of her face is covered in both of these cards. She's not revealing everything. I don't think that she's actually without any hurt herself. We don't know why she's hiding half of her face here, but she is appearing to have moved on. Meanwhile, what's interesting about this, and this could be a complicated reading, so everybody grab your popcorn. Sorry, I try to make my readings a little bit more light and fluffy, just because it's entertainment. I don't want it to be like dun, dun, dun. But unfortunately, sometimes we get real ugly stories. This King of Cups is here, and they have, even if they were in the upright, this is a King of Cups that has lots of emotions, right? They got the stormy sharks, within, which we all do, right? We all have our baggage, our difficulties that we carry. But you notice how he's holding his ship, which is kind of representing his heart. He's still, even if this were in the upright, this is not someone who actually set their heart out there and really gave it. This is someone who has deep emotions, but it's like they always withhold in this deck no matter what. And in the reverse, this is somebody who is really feeling like they're definitely not going to be giving their heart to this, in this case, feminine. It does not have to be a man and a woman. It simply is, I'm going off of the imagery in the card. So just know this could be same-sex couples. This could be, flip it, reverse it. It could be a masculine who hurt a feminine. It doesn't matter. But right now, what we see, and for the sake of keeping this clear, and then you can change characters for yourself. But in this story, we have a masculine character who is feeling heartbroken as they are watching a feminine character appear on the surface to be absolutely glowing. Like her life is wonderful. She is loving her life. She seems to be a very bright light. She gives a lot of good energy to everyone around her. But we don't know everything about her because she's hiding one eye here. This masculine is feeling like they absolutely cannot or will not open up, nor will they be able to let go of her, but they're also not giving any signals about how they're feeling. They're suppressing everything, and they are feeling as if they are just this burned out ash, almost like they don't even have emotion left, but in fact, that's kind of all they have. They got burned by the flames of love, and now they're just ash. And again, she seems to be looking peachy keen and fine and fancy here, but we can only see half of her face. So she's hiding something. So both of these people are hiding things from what I can see. So let's first, I want to talk about the Sun card, because that should be a really happy card. She seems to have a really good life, but she's not entirely happy. With the Seven of Cups here in the reverse, this is, this Seven of Cups is like our hopes, wishes, and dreams. And when we actually select, that one star in the sky that like, this is exactly what I want. This is the thing that I desire for myself. But in the reverse, she may have made the decision that I can't keep crying over this. I have to go ahead and say, I don't have that choice anymore to make. So I have to carry on and I have to be happy in my life without this person. I think that's the part that she's hiding. She's hiding the fact that she's no longer confused, but she also didn't get her wish come true. And I say that because this particular Seven of Cups, it's about, making wishes upon a star. But in this case, she had selected one thing that she really wanted. She didn't get it, but she's made a choice to carry on. I feel like she's made the best out of a real hurtful situation. We have a Two of Wands and we have the Devil. Wow. So for the feminine, again, I'm more concerned with why does she have one bird covering one eye, right? What is it that we don't see about her? What we don't see, what she doesn't show on the surface, is that even though it seems like she's made this decision within her that I have to carry on, I need to live my life fully, be really happy, but deep down, what we have is she is perpetually still sitting here thinking about, now in this case, she's holding the world in her hands. So she may have really produced an excellent life for herself. Maybe this feminine has become very successful, maybe even semi-famous, since she holds the world in her hands. Maybe she's, got a high-powered job, global travel, whatever it is. Yet at night, what she thinks about is that other thing up in the night sky. In this case, instead of stars, it's the moon. It's this loneliness that is still, it's the thing that she didn't have, that she still thinks about. And that, with the Devil, she may actually think about that kind of obsessively. So on the surface, she's good, not crying about anything. She's living this great life. And deep down, she's actually not over that. On the surface, in the daytime hours, she's great. But she always hides whatever the real hurt is, and the continual, always feeling like, is anything ever going to happen? Should I have taken different action? Is the moon ever going to come toward me? And remember, the moon has a powerful pull on the earth, right? It affects the gravity. It has a gravitational pull on the earth. It affects the tides. The tides represent emotion. So I want to backtrack and ask about the Three of Swords. So the masculine who seems to be heartbroken here, and more heartbroken because they think she's fine without them. We have a Page of Wands. So this person, literally, they watch her every move. Maybe this is why they are so convinced that she's doing so good without them, because they literally watch her all the time with passion still. But you notice this person is doing it in a really immature way. And I'm so sorry to say that, but this is only like a 10-year-old. Let me put it this way. Does watching change anything? No, action changes things. So especially if somebody is being brokenhearted, watching this feminine seem to have this rockin' good life, and they watch her every move and they feel more heartbroken all the time, thinking, you're so good without me. You're so fine without me. But they have a desire to come toward her, but they aren't doing it. Then to me, you never know what anybody's thinking unless you reach out and talk, right? The thing is, this person, they think that being really strong, they're like trying to hold back their tears. They're trying to hold back and not show how broken up they are over this to her, right? I mean, this lion is like crying into this little girl's, hand here. But they think that being strong is to not show how much they miss her, I suppose. And then we have this King of Swords that is in the reverse. And again, we have this topic of plucking stars out of the sky and adorning our life with it. But in this case, this King of Swords is not doing any of that. There's no communication. They're not. So both of them have this interesting vibe where both of them are missing out on their wish fulfillment. Okay, that's what I see here. So this masculine is miserable, thinking she's so good without them. And they think that being strong and stoic and not saying a word, that's how they show that they're strong. What happened here? What happened? Why did this happen here? I don't understand. We have a Three of Wands in the reverse. We have a Two of Swords in the reverse. Well, we don't have plans for a future. Everything has come to like a screeching halt. That's all I see here, is that there is no plan for the future. And that seems to be definite. Why? Why do we have no plan for the future? Why do we have no plan on ever meeting again? Why are we're not even thinking that there's an option. So all communication is probably stopped. Ace of Swords, something got severed, something got cut off. The crazy part is Ace of Swords is a card of truth and clarity, but neither one of these has truth or clarity. I'm asking, why do we have no plan for the future whatsoever? Somebody is holding a key, but the key needs to go and fit into this lock and open up all these thoughts that are on each person's mind. There is an opportunity to learn something more and to experience more in this connection, but instead, the sword of truth can be used as a sword of clarity, or a sword that is used to cut things in half or cut them apart, sever a connection. In this case, because the key is not fit into the keyhole here, we are using the sword to cut things off. So we have both people still sitting here locked in their minds and in separation. And there's such a challenge here. I love this card so much. I love the beautiful and like intense look, where it's kind of like, take a good hard look in the mirror and ask yourselves what, this is what this card is representing to me for each of these characters. Like, each of them, they need to take a good hard look in the mirror, because both of them have the power to open up dialogue, but they aren't doing it. Instead, the very thing that could fix the situation is the exact same thing that is using to sever the connection, which is conversation or lack of conversation. But again, why do we have this? Why did things go this way? Ten of Swords, because we have a ton of hurt that came from a whole bunch of wounds, and this is over, but it's not over at all. We're just languishing in agony here. This is tons of unknowns, tons of, both people feel wronged. Both people feel like this was a terrible, terrible wounded energy here. Queen of Swords in the upright. And both of them are apparently, I don't know, Queen of Swords requires truth. She's sitting up above it all, and she's seeking something. I feel like they keep watching each other, maybe from a distance, but never getting to the point of conversation. There's no connection. She's even disconnected from the earth. She's floating, up above it all. She's looking into the distance. Both people seem to be very isolated here and trying to find truth, but without communicating. So all you have, if you don't have real conversation and dialogue happening between two people, how are you going to get to the truth of what either one is really thinking when we're so far removed from any conversation? Hold on, let's clarify these last two cards, and then I still want to see from each person's perspective what's going on. Tell me about the King of Cups in the reverse. Eight of Swords, Emperor in the reverse. Oh my gosh. So to me, this looks like this whole storyline, we began with a masculine who's brokenhearted, especially the more they look at a feminine who seems to be having this great life. Neither one knows that they're both feeling the hurt out of this. Meanwhile, the masculine showing up now as this King of Cups in the reverse, holding back, holding on. They are trapped. They're not listening to their higher self at all. They're staying completely stuck. And what's more, they're doubling down on it, or they are feeling stuck by some kind of like manipulative energy. This is actually a feminine emperor. This could be a boss. This could be some family figure. It could be a matriarch or patriarch in the family, or this could be themselves holding back for like all the wrong reasons, to try to show that they're powerful, even though to really be powerful would mean that you would reach out for the thing that you want, right? A powerful person doesn't sit there and go, I want that so bad, and I'm not going to let myself have it because I'm not going to humble myself. That's not power. Power is, what do you mean? I'm not humbling myself to reach out and say, I need to talk to you because I'm hurt over this. Do you want to talk? That's what a powerful person does. Sorry, that's just me. That's Sassy Kate talking, okay? Sorry. But I personally believe that. I believe we have more power when we actually do say the thing that's on our heart, the thing that if we're trying to like gag it back so we don't say it, I kind of feel like that is us choosing a path where we're suppressing our, like what our heart is saying, out of fear, instead of like speaking the words on our heart. That's what it looks like to me. And I double on that message, because we have the, the guardian angel, somebody's locking up. And I look at this anytime I see any kind of a cage, that's the chest to me. And what's inside is our heart. The goodness of the things that we feel inside of our heart, that's what somebody is locking down. I'm not going to let the beautiful words out of my chest. I'm not going to say it, because in this case, I don't want to give you the satisfaction of knowing that I miss you, because you seem fine without me. So I feel like this is very petty, petty, petty behavior. Now let's look at the Five of Swords, because in the masculine's opinion, it's funny because I feel like this whole reading is from the divine masculine's perspective. They think that she really hurt them, and she knows it, and she's just fine. But again, they know that they don't know everything. They know that they don't fully understand why this is going on, but they still are focused on the woe is me attitude here. Temperance, Eight of Wands in the reverse. So in their mind, she is completely fine and does not want to talk to them at all. Super happy not talking to them. That's how they view it, and that's why they're so wounded. So did she say, I don't want to talk to you anymore because this is disrupting my life and I want to be calm? Now let's talk about this from their two perspectives, right? Because we have, it's time for puppet theater. Okay, I always say it's puppet theater when I'm talking from both people's perspectives. Okay, so first off, where is the divine feminine at with this, really? What is she thinking of, what happened here? She says, Two of Cups, that this is the love of my life kind of thing. And we have a lot of problems, and there's been a lot of hurt, and it needs to be healed. Okay. So if she thinks that it needs to be healed, and in this, she actually is shown there ministering to the masculine. Three of Pentacles. She wants this to be worked out, but she may also want them to come in and do the work, or do work on themselves first, because we see the masculine now as a child. Like she thinks they have inner child wounding or something like that they really need to work on. So then the two of them can come together in cooperation. But she sees them as a soulmate, a twin flame that she wants to work with. Three of Cups came out sideways. Like, I don't know why this person won't approach me. I don't understand why they aren't coming in to actually solve this mystery with me. Why does she think that it's on, like she wants this? If she wants this, what? Five of Cups. There's a tremendous amount of sorrow here. Yearning. I always look at this card as yearning, not just as regret, but as yearning. Like, I feel like she is aching for that. So why does she act like she's fine? Princess of Swords in the upright, Ten of Swords. Because if they're not going to come in and fix it, then she's aware that she absolutely has to find a way to let this go. But there's a part of her that is continuously asking the universe, like, why did this happen? She's always trying to gather information, like, why did I go through this? Is it just because I was supposed to learn a lesson on how to let something go? Or she is perhaps sometimes checking them out and wondering, like, are they changing? Are they getting better? I feel like from her perspective, she thinks that they have a bunch that they have to heal before they can come in right to her. Or she's trying to figure out, like, how to give them space to do that. Or she's trying to figure out how to release herself from this. Because if this is going to be over, she still isn't sure if this is like, universe, am I just supposed to let this one go completely? Because this is still gathering information about this excruciating ending. And if she's supposed to just let it go completely, well, we still have a life to live, right? I feel like she's doing her best to accept this. If it's a lesson, then I guess it's a lesson. If it's more than that, then I have to trust that this person is going to come back in, right? What about from the masculine's perspective? What are they thinking about this whole situation? They think, Ace of Cups, they think that this is the love of their life. Okay? So both of them view each other as the love of my life. Then what the heck is this? Fix it. Sorry. I can't stand things like this. If two people think you're the love of my life, you're the love of my life, but we'll never be able to make it work, then it's because you're not working right. That's on you. Sorry, this is so sassy. Look, I try to lighten things up because these are just fictional stories. This masculine is very aware. With the Seven of Swords in the reverse, they are not under any illusions that this is their great love. This is their one. Then why aren't they fixing it? King of Wands in the reverse, man. They are still blocked by this ego. Why are they so blocked by this ego? King of Wands in the reverse is completely, instead of being loving, open-hearted, they are completely sour and yearning. Same card. So I used my duplicate decks for this because that's what I do when I'm doing puppet theater, where the two are going to have their little conversations. So both of them are absolutely yearning for each other. I'm asking, why is this King of Wands acting this way? Why are they in the reverse? Why are they so full of arrogance instead of opening up their heart? They want a new beginning, but I feel like each one of them wants the other one to like say, I'm barely making it without you. I desperately need you. I feel like each of them wants to be told that. Then the masculine feels like they can have a new beginning as long as they can be made to feel like you are the one in a million. You are the gift from the universe. You are everything that I want, and I want this new beginning with you. So each of them is looking for reassurance from the other, and neither one is giving it. Now, here's the thing. The difference is the feminine thinks that the masculine needs to do some healing. The feminine has been very wounded in this and seems to want them to come back in and solve this, fix this. The feminine appears that the burden is on them. On their side, they think that their arrogance is in the way. They may even actually know that their arrogance is in the way, but they need the feminine to not look like she's doing so good without them, because that keeps grinding them down and making them feel insecure about this. Like, oh my gosh. I don't want this to be about who did who wrong, but what is the underlying thing that went so far wrong in this? And I'm not going to assign who did what. I just want to ask, what is the underlying issue here? Actually, let's go with a different deck. This is a big question, so let's go with the big deck. I can barely hold this one. It's so big. Okay. What is the underlying thing that went so wrong in this? Prince of Staves in the reverse. So this is like, I don't understand why the passion fizzled. I don't understand why action ceased to be taken. I don't understand. Maybe there was a confusion about whether or not someone was going to be loyal, or if this was just a Seven of Swords. This is running away, or this is lying. This is even theft. This is acting out of a sly energy. I don't know if anybody did act that way, or if that's just what someone's belief was. What is the underlying issue here is mistrust. Let me put it simply, it's mistrust. Maybe somebody didn't show that they were really interested. Maybe both people hid how interested they were in each other. Queen of Sacred Circles. So this is great passage of time. maybe both people were hiding the fact that they wanted this to be a long-term commitment. You know, we go from baby to elderly, so it's like a great passage of time. This is like having abundance and getting rooted in a relationship and really going the distance with this. But we have lies right before that, and then we have that Prince of Staves in the reverse to start it out. And I said, what is the underlying issue? If both people think that this is the love of their life, why would that have been so hard? Why were there ever lies about that? Or did someone lie to one or the other of them? Did they lie about a family situation? What was the lie about? I mean, the mistrust is epic, though. That I would say is the biggest thing here. Tell me about the mistrust, as much as this is a tough one to question. High Priestess. Secrets, things not being shown. Somebody holding these blueprints, though. Plans that were never revealed. I'm wondering now if this was not a situation where somebody neither person or one person never said that I want this relationship to go the distance, that I have plans for us, that I see us getting old together, or that somehow it was like one or the other or both of them kept chipping away at the belief that they could trust each other. And 10 of Swords in the reverse. And when they hurt each other, they didn't fix it. They didn't heal it. So instead, it was an agonizing ending. But I think both people didn't come clean about how much one or the other's words hurt one another. And it seems like the mistrust just kind of like it got mistrust, and then confusion, and then plans were never revealed that I have long-term plans with you. And then maybe one person thought you don't want to have long-term plans with me, and the other person thought you don't want me to have long-term plans with you. I think that this is just, I don't want to say it's confusion, because that's not fair to say it that way. This is the problem we get when we run away from problems instead of communicating about them. And instead of like really revealing what our plans were, you know, how each of us views this connection. If we both want this long-term wonderful connection, why would we both have been afraid to reveal that? Or did one start to reveal it, or they thought they made it clear and then the other one didn't understand, and so then they thought, oh, well, they didn't react, so should I not have said that? Okay, let me act like this doesn't matter to me. And now this other person thinks, wow, I don't even matter to you. That it's looking a little bit like that in this story. Now, again, I read the story that I see, not your story, right? So a lot of people will probably immediately be in mid-sentence right now writing me, no, that's not what happened. But remember, this is the story that I'm telling based off of the cards that I see. I'm not trying to tell your life story. I'm not a psychic. I'm a storyteller, and I only do this because sometimes through stories, when we find that we're all going through similar things as human beings do, you know, sometimes we listen to a story and then we go, I wonder if I should consider that. Were there misunderstandings? Were there miscommunications? Or just to say, wow, how many humans go through the same stuff. We're all in this together, right? We're not alone. We all go through such similar, you know, life stories and hurts. And sometimes it just helps to know that we're not alone out there. And that's kind of what my channel is all about. It's about art, but it's also about having a place where we can feel comfortable and know that we're not alone, even in those really tough things that we all go through as human beings. But I am not a psychic. So if anybody ever wonders why I always say that, it is because I don't want to detract from people who are psychic. I'm not one of them, though. I don't have that gift, but I am a storyteller and I'm a writer. And so I write without a pen. So anyway, in this story, that's how I interpret this. If this is something that was kept secret about some other family situation, I don't really see how that would have been a big nefarious tale. Like what I see is, you know, a child and a grandmother, but I don't really understand how that would have even factored into anything to have a big lie about. You know, family complications. I don't know. Family complications wouldn't have led to this agonizing, hurtful thing. Not when it's just about like a grandmother and a grandchild. You know, that to me is really talking more about the duration of a relationship that we would want to have together. I want to have kids with you. I want to grow old with you. I want us to have grandchildren. That to me is the part that was hidden from view. That to me is the part that we lied about. We didn't tell each other how serious we were about each other. This storyline is very sad because a really good thing has been eroded for no good reason other than in this story. The only reason this hasn't worked out is because two people cannot tell each other how important they are to one another. Maybe one person did tell the other, but they didn't hear it that way. Now, we see the masculine kind of perpetually being super arrogant, and I'm not trying to place blame on them. And keep in mind, it could just as easily be a feminine. But regardless, what we have is, the feminine acting like everything is peachy keen when she doesn't feel peachy keen probably isn't making somebody feel particularly awesome either. It's like, wow, you bounced back so quick. I'm not even on your mind anymore. And if the feminine isn't really feeling that way, or if she's trying to flounce around and show it because she knows that they're watching her still, and it's like, oh, I'm going to make you jealous, then that's not cool, right? That's hurting everybody. That's hurting her. That's hurting them. Then meanwhile, they holding back, the masculine holding back out of their own arrogance, like, unless you can tell me that you really miss me, I'm not going to show you that I miss you. That's not helping anyone. That's hurting them. So all I see here is the blend of, human interactions that when we don't follow our heart and really be vulnerable enough to say how we feel. And that may not be the case, right? Maybe one person laid it all on the line and somebody didn't react. They didn't have what it took to step up to the plate. Then that's not what this story is, right? If in real life somebody said to a person, this is how much I love you, this is how much I want to be with you, and the person reacts poorly, and you go, okay, apparently I don't matter, and they still don't say, what are you talking about? That's not what I said. Let me explain. If both people run from dialogue when you can see that each one is wounded, that's not quite what this story is. This story is two people who really didn't quite get to the point of conversation, not a situation where they truly had good conversation and someone was kept holding back. Because to me, if somebody is brave enough to open up and say, here's how I feel about you, I love you, and the other person just kind of sits there like a lump, what else is somebody supposed to do other than go, okay, I guess I'm not the one for you then. I guess I'll move along and I'll just put a smile on and just kind of keep moving forward, even though I thought you were the one, and I kind of feel like that's the feminine side of this. And the masculine seems to still be holding back. So I don't know if they're going to get this all worked out, but in this story, it seems like there's to work it out. So anyway, that's what I've got. So now